Innovative content. Global audience. SR TV. Innovative content. Global audience.
Hello, good morning, Nigerians. How was your weekend and how was your Easter? Yes, it's another beautiful day here in the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja, and we're reaching you live from our SRO TV studios. I'm Princess Kessy, and this is Wake Up Nigeria. How with me today on the show?
Patience Okosun.
How was your night, Patience? How
was
was your Easter celebration?
It was fine, though on a low key, but it was fine.
Why low key?
I just had to stay at home and eat. That's all. Nothing much, though I watched a lot of movies and I had to read headlines to know what's happening.
Well, it was also a low key for me. Not much celebration. I didn't go out. Just had few people came to the house. A little celebration here and there, but we thank God for life.
Yeah.
It has been so many stories, headlines this morning.
I can
from positive to negative to very sad ones. But what can we do? We move on quickly with the newspaper reviews this morning, and I'm going to kickstart with the Daily Trust newspapers. And these are some of the stories we have that are trending this morning. And the Daily Trust newspaper, we have auto crashes claim 385 lives in 3 months. Bauchi, Kessy, Niger lead in casualty figures. 6,000 deaths recorded annually. FRSC blames overspeeding, overloading others. All these stories can be seen on Daily Trust newspaper on page 4. And then we move on to the other stories we have here that says cleric, Easter, cleric must stop desecrating puppets with partisans hate speech. Sultan. And that story is on page 5 of the Daily Trust newspaper. We also have this morning, they say Ekonians as ex-World Court judge Bola Ajibola is buried. That story is on page 5 of the Daily Trust newspaper. We also have here a story that says, let's come together in unity. Can President tells citizens. That story is on page 5 of the Daily Trust newspaper. We also have a story here that says, Benue government killed 134 in 5 days. Autumn. That story is on page 6 of the Daily Trust newspaper. We reject the $800 million World Bank loan for palliatives. That story is on page 13 of the Daily Trust newspapers. Well, these are some of the stories that are making waves on Daily Trust this morning. You might just want to get a copy to see more details for yourself. But these are some of the stories we have, and a really sad one here as the main headline. We're seeing here that auto crashes claim 385 lives in 3 months.
That is months. So what will happen in 1 year?
So and that is why they say they're saying annually here the 6,000 deaths recorded annually. This is really sad. This is really sad. Since last month we've been having crashes here and there, and this one I know a major one that happened yesterday as well. That made a lot of people tag yesterday's Easter as Black Easter. It's really sad. It's sad, and I think
we need to. It's not. It doesn't just boil down to the federal government. I think we need to do something about it. I mean, the drivers, because from the riders, they blame overloading, overspeeding, and so on. So we need to play our part. Not just put. Though we know there are bad roads. If we want to blame the federal government, there are bad roads, but then we still need to do the right thing.
Yes, I once did a report, a special report on overloading. Yes, I once did. I spoke to different porters, the drivers, the passengers, the FRSC, and a lot of people. And you got to find out that a driver that is not having the tires are not strong enough, they are not they still overload, manage to overload the vehicle, and then the weight becomes too much. Like we're seeing here, the federal government blames over speeding, overloading, and others. So I think the drivers will need to take cautions. And then we also have a story here that says Easter clerics must stop desecrating puppets with partisanship, hate speech. This is coming from the Sultan this morning. I think that's a good call. We should be able to tell our followers the truth, not hate, not disunity, but unity. And of course, we have a story here also to say, let's come together in unity. Can President tell citizens at this point in time, nothing else but to come together, if you ask me. And it's really a sad one also. Benue government killed 134 in 5 days. That's quite a number as well.
I think Benue needs to stand up for
themselves. I think that state should be declared. Yes.
For over the weeks now, we've been reading a lot of killings in that state. So I think the youth
of emergency
needs to stand up. Yes, and not just
the youth. What are they supposed to do?
Vigilante. They should create vigilante group. They should stand up for themselves. Because if you ask me,
anyway, we move on quickly this morning to the next newspaper we have. That's the Nation's newspaper this morning.
So from the Nation newspaper this morning, the major news here says governors under pressure over security votes pending, and the writer says Fed agencies, NFIU, EFCC seek movement of accounts to CBN for proper monitoring. And so we also have Tinubu won because of his superb organization, says Sagi. Wow, you find that story on the Nation newspaper this morning. And so we have Osibanjo, Obasanjo, others pay last respect at Ajibola's burial. And then the writer says Buhari Tinubu governors, Isholamon ex-ICG George. You find that story on page 2 of the Nation newspaper this morning. And then we also have APC asks tribunals to dismiss AA, APP, APM petition. You find that story on page 4 of the Nation newspaper this morning. Attack Owo Catholic Church reopens months after. Well, we all know the whole crisis
Catholic Church.
Yeah,
that happened 10 months ago to be precise. And they reopened yesterday. A lot of people came out to worship as well. The place has been renovated.
Well, it's good a lot of people came out to worship. I feel if I was the one, it would be hard for me to
that is the reaction we're getting from a lot of people. They're saying they wouldn't come out, they don't trust, they fear of the unknown, so they wouldn't come out. But thank God a lot of them also came out yesterday. But my question is, what has been done? The issue has been lying low.
Yes.
What's the update as regarding to our attack? These are some of the questions we're asking today.
Well, I hope something will be done anyway. And then we also have from the Nation newspaper this morning, banks, oil firms, others flood stock exchange governance rules. And then we have gunmen kill ASP, injured others at Lagos checkpoint, 15 killed in road crash. I think those are the story. Finally, here says election petitions, Kuka urges judiciary to do justice. Well, those are the story making waves this morning on the Nation newspaper. And so, Princess, I think this story about Kuka urging judiciaries to do justice, I think we all need to add voices with Kuka, because Nigeria, the future of Nigeria is now dependent on the judiciary. They have to come out and really do justice to
that is what it is, because at this point a lot of people already gave up on INEC, gave up on so many institutions, and then at this point they still have very little hope for the judiciary. So we really rely on them to come out with do these things they are supposed to do credibly at the end of the day, so that people are not aggrieved unnecessarily. And then we move on quickly this morning to the Punch newspaper. And these are some of the stories we have making waves this morning. Fuel subsidy removal. Marketers seek CBN loans for 30,000 gas stations. The rider says gas stations to caution subsidy removal effect as PMS may sell for 750 naira per litre. And then we'll have another rider here that says NATO wants end to subsidy NSC to meet incoming government over removal dates. All these stories are on page 21 of the Punch newspaper. Also have a story here that says asset declaration. Defaulters may be removed from office. That story is on page 8 of the Punch newspaper. We also have a story here that says governors orders preach love at Easter. That story is on page 28 of the Punch newspaper. As well, we have a story here that says Buhari or Simbanjo NBA mourns as XICG George Ajibola. That story is on page 28 also of the Punch newspaper. And we have a story here that says Bishop demands justice for 41 Owo attack victims as church reopens. That story is on page 13 of the Punch newspaper. We also have a story here that says federal state lawmakers get 449 billion naira. That story is on page 2 of the Punch newspaper. We also have a story here that says bandits slash ransom for 85 Zamfara adoptees. That story is on page 16 of the Punch newspaper. We have a story here also that says federal government bars online banks from accessing customers' phones, photos, contacts. That story is on page 22 of the Punch newspaper. Now, I love this story here, the call from the bishop demanding justice for 41 Owo attack victims as church reopened. Because we know very well it's not all of them that went to church from that community. Of course, the fear of the unknown, you wouldn't want to just go knowing fully well that what happened the last time, but have not seen the end of it. No justice has been done as to that issue. And then we'll have a story here also. Federal government bars online banks from accessing customers' photos and contacts. I think it's a really good one.
It's really good
because most time I know when you borrow money online from these people, and the next thing they access your contact, they access your photos, and they're able.
And for days now, I think I've been receiving calls from an unknown number saying somebody loaned money from them using me as a guarantor. So they've been calling and calling and calling. I don't know how
that is unfeasible. How will somebody use you without your consent?
Without my consent.
That so there is no case there as far as I'm concerned. And I'm seeing a story here also that is saying this main headline here that say first subsidy removal, marketers seek CBN's loan for 30,000 gas station. And then we have gas stations to cushion subsidy removal effect as PMS may sell for 750 per litre. Do you think Nigerians will survive this part?
I don't think so. I think they will just park their cars and prefer to work on their houses. Well, I think they're trying to save the situation by increasing the salaries of civil servants. But then civil servants are not just the only persons that drive cars. So I don't know how Nigerians will survive with this subsidy crisis. I don't see it happening anytime soon, though.
It's really sad. Anyways, we'll move on quickly to the next newspaper we have with us this morning.
Okay, coming from the Guardian newspaper this morning, the major news here says UK revises foreign health workers recruitment, returns Nigeria to red list country. Well, and then the rider here says outrage over bill mandating 5 years pre-licensing practice for Nigeria-trained doctors. And then bill poorly researched reels out in inaccurate figures. The federal government brain drain committee report not implemented, group inactive for months. And then we also have if bill becomes law, government officials should also stop medical tourism, says Tomori. And then those story can be found on the page 3 of the Guardian newspaper this morning. And so we also have Cook attacks Nigerians next government on nation building. And so he also said, for now, the most urgent mission is to start a psychological journey of making Nigerians feel whole again, of creating a large sense of opportunity and hope for us all. You find the story on page 6 of the Guardian newspaper this morning. And so we also have how Agbero multiple dues spike transportation costs by 25% in Lagos. And so we also have Ajibola, a jurist for ages. You find that story on page 6 of the Guardian newspaper this morning. And so we have APC may zoom Senate presidency to Southeast. You find that story on page 5 of the Guardian newspaper. Those are the story making waves this morning on the Guardian newspaper. So, Princess, I think this story of how Agbero multiple dues spike transportation costs by 25% in Lagos. I think they should do something to those Agbero people on the streets.
And funny enough, when you go, if you're someone that usually travels to Lagos always, when you go to Lagos all the time, you find out that you go to every area of Lagos and there. So you pay here, you go to another area, you pay, you continue paying
at every junction.
Yes, until you get to your destination.
I've
been in that situation before where I carried a car for someone, a new car, and I was going with the agent. It was battle. It was a serious battle thank God I had to use a Yoruba guy also that knows how to speak, and the guy even brought out one weapon and they were trying to. I was so scared, like, what if something happened? What if they kill this guy? Where am I supposed to start from? And I was begging the guy to let's go. The guy said, if you don't do them like this, you're going to pay through your nose. They keep extorting you. You give these ones. And funny enough, the distance is not really much. So from here to another, just a little distance, there are other sets and they don't allow you to pass. At the end of the day, you keep paying.
And
so
you give everything.
And now it's, as we can see here, it's affecting Nigerians, because the more they extort the drivers, the more the drivers extort Nigerians, the citizens. So Lagos,
I think they should do something about those people. It's something we need to
do. They should do something about them.
And then I like the major news here that says, I think from the rider that says outrage over bill mandating 5 years pre-licensing practice for Nigeria trained doctors. There's, there are a lot of doctors. We have good doctors in Nigeria, but then they just want to go out. They want to jackpot outside the country so they can make good end meet. I think this bill will go a long way for Nigerian doctors. So after practicing, you have to stay back 5 years. You have to serve your country 5 years before you can go out.
That's the question we're asking. You want them to stay back, fine, but are these people being treated well? These are the questions. You cannot force somebody to live here against his or which, when they've done their part, they've gone to school, and then you keep paying salaries. You're not paying the small monies you're supposed to pay, and especially small welfare packages here and there, little ones you're supposed to do, you don't do them, and you expect these people to stay and to wait for you. It's not right. But let's say the fact.
It's actually not right, but then we need them. Nigerians need them. A lot of cases in Nigerians, and we have good doctors outside the country that can tackle these cases.
But they are being paid well. They pay them as at the time that is due. It's only in Nigeria you see that doctors are shutting down hospitals, they go on strike, and people are left to die at the hospitals, because the government also is not the health sector is something that they need to overhaul. And that is why a lot of politicians, they travel. They don't even have faith in these people. Now, how do you expect them to stay back when even the politicians, and they have headache, they jet off? Even their children headache and they jet off. So who are you staying here for? These are some of the issues, not just passing the laws, but doing the right thing. And then we move on quickly this morning to the blueprint newspapers and newspaper. These are some of the stories we have making waves this morning. We have here Kuka's agenda for Tinubu, create 10 for opportunities, cut chains of ethnicity, religious bigotry. And the rider here says urges judiciary to reclaim Nigeria's trust, sense of justice. And then we'll have another story here that says one of the riders that says salutes youth courage in 2023 post across parties lines. All the stories on page 6 of the Blueprint newspaper. And also he prays for Buhari on retirement, commends president's efforts, shares emotional sentiment, support Tinubu, Nnamani tells Indigo. All these stories on page 6 of the Blueprint newspaper. We also have a story here that says that I am sad losing XAGF Ajibola at 89. This is coming from Osibanjo this morning, and that story is on page 6 of the Blueprint newspaper. We also have a story here that says Sultan NSCIA congratulates Christians at Easter. That story is on page 5 of the Blueprint newspaper. We also have a story here, also 2023 Hajj, why we have different fares for states. This is coming from the NAHCON on page 17 of the Blueprint newspaper. We also have a story here that says our church opens for worship 1 year after attack. That story is on page 13 of the Blueprint newspaper. We also have a story here that says BIU lots Okosun FRSC for returning 22 million to victims' I beg your pardon, 27 million to victims' family. That story is on page 24 of the Blueprint newspaper. We also have a story here that says JAMB announces April 25 as new date for 2023 UTME. That story is on page 24 of the Blueprint newspaper. As well, we have a story here that says Kuje prison escapee won other NAB for theft in Nasarawa State. That story is on page 24 of the Blueprint newspaper. And these are some of the stories that are making waves we have on the Blueprint this morning. And we'll see also here that Kuka, it's actually, he salutes the youth. Of course, we said that over time on this show, their courage as well during this past election. And then he's also urging the judiciary to reclaim Nigerians' trust. Because at this point, like I said earlier, we've lost, people have lost all sense of hope and trust on most INEC, of these institutions, not just INEC, but a lot of even the security, a lot of these institutions. So I think with the little hope they have left on judiciary, they should not disappoint Nigerians. And then also a story here that said show of emotional sentiment support Tinubu. Nnamani tells Igbo. At this point, he has been announced as the president-elect. And before, just who knows whether or not you like it or whether people really want him or not, he's the one we are waiting for.
I do wish sometimes if the constitution had just been written this way, and please says if it was that if there is a case in court, then the president-elect won't be sworn in until the case in court is cleared out. But that's not how it is written. So whether you have a case in court, whether anyone is unsatisfied with the system, otherwise, even the president-elect must
be sworn in. Yes, we assume until otherwise. So we see more of that. Of course, is a developing story. Our viewers don't go anywhere. We'll go on a quick break, and when we return, I'll return with a guest who will be discussing some of the issues, topical issues bordering on the minds of Nigerians. Don't go anywhere. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
RTV London, in partnership with NTA TV Enterprise, present the maiden edition of the Nigerian Week in the capital of the world, London. A wonderful blend of entertainment, business, and networking, displaying a wide range of arts, national cash crops, financial products and services, and real estate for huge extra opportunity in diaspora. Look no further. The 36 states of the Federation, the Federal Ministry of Information and Culture, Trade and Investment, the Nigerian Film Corporation, and host of others will be in attendance. Date 15 to 21st of May 2023. Venue Lighthouse, Camberwell, Southeast London. For details, log on www.superradiotelevision.com/Nigerian Week or call +447 549 513 619 or +2.
SR TV. innovative content, global audience.
RTV London, in partnership with NTA TV Enterprise, present the maiden edition of the Nigerian Week in the capital of the world, London. A wonderful blend of entertainment, business, and networking, displaying a wide range of art, national cash crops, financial products and services, and real estate for huge extra opportunity in diaspora. Look no further. The 36 states of the Federation, the Federal Ministry of Information and Culture, Trade and Investment, the Nigerian Film Corporation, and host of others will be in attendance. Date 15 to 21st of May 2023. Venue Lighthouse, Camberwell, Southeast London. For details, log on www.superiorradiotelevision.com/Nigerian Week or call +447 549 513 619 or +234 814 358 2856. The Nigerian Week, celebrating the best of Nigeria from the rest.
Hello viewers, you're welcome back from that quick break. We'll have our guest to join us soon on the show. So today on where I'm bringing in a guest, this is the CEO of E-Rose Real Estate Management Limited. Over the time, Pat, have you seen that the high in house trends within Abuja? I'm taking Abuja as a case study because we are here, we live here. It's something that is it's alarming.
Yeah, recently, as of now, I'm talking to you. I'm actually in search of house, but then the landlords I meet told me I'll have to pay 2 years. Okay, so they don't take 1 year rent anymore. So anybody that's coming or in search of house now will have to pay 2 years straight, even as small as
I think that should be the one of the questions you ask our guest today.
Yes,
why this for 2 years?
2 years. All of a sudden,
it's even the 1 year is already it's like I don't know, like a pain or like it's pressing on Nigerians. And then you come and say they should do
pay 2 years.
2 years. So what's your take on this rents in Abuja? Most of these landlords, they don't care. And the most painful thing is that a house that has been built like 10 years ago, you're using it to judge a new house that I met a landlord. I spoke with a landlord some days ago, just on Saturday, and he said, no, things are expensive. And I said, but this house is old house.
A house you built 10 years ago.
Why are you using it to frustrate your tenants? And Nigerians are groaning. I've met a lot of people, they are complaining, and the thing is becoming unbearable. And that is why today we'll have on the show somebody that we know we can talk to when it comes to this issue that are bothering us and bothering Nigerians as well. So it's really sad that now people are not like I have here already on the show with me. Hello, good morning, sir. Can you hear us?
Good morning.
How are you doing today, sir?
I'm good. Very well, thank you. I'm good.
Yes, you're welcome to the show this morning. Like viewers, I have with me on the line the CEO of E-Rose Real Estate Management Limited, Comrade Okbara Uche Chukwu. You're welcome, sir.
Thank you very much.
Yes, sir. So a quick one now. We know that a lot of issues as regarding when it comes to estates and house rent in Abuja is really overbearing. As we speak, a lot of people are groaning when it comes to the house at which this house trends. A landlord will just come from nowhere and increase. I met a landlord on Saturday that increased the rent last year, and this year is telling the tenant that he wants to increase again. As an expert, and this is your field now, tell us, what do you think? Why do you think landlords keep increasing rent in this time when we have economic meltdown?
Landlords, thank you for this opportunity given to me.
You're welcome, sir.
The issue of the increment of rents, landlord may decide to increase their rental prices in order to match market rates to pay for property maintenance or improvement. If you go to market survey, you discover that the house materials or building materials is on the high side. So for them to buy the materials, they need to increase the house rent for them to buy the materials. So I'm of the opinion that already built houses in our city, well, there are some group of men or people or laws that people are about to implement, that people that have already built their houses should not increase the house rent, because most people are suffering. You know, you see yourself having small salary and using it to pay house rent. So those old houses that have already been built, they should not increase their rent. They should consider what is happening at the present situation before increment.
That is
current housing.
Yes, that is exactly a point here, Mr. Comrade Uche. You find out that a lot of these houses are old houses. The landlords are not even willing to do maintenance on these buildings, and they just come and on Saturday I met a landlord as well. He said and this house was barely built like 4 years ago, so that means that there is no maintenance, and the tenants were complaining he has not been doing any maintenance, but within the period of 4 years he has increased the rent like 2 times, and now he's talking about another increment.
Sorry, I believe that there is somebody that is called a caretaker in that house.
Okay.
So any complaints will be channeled to the caretaker of the houses.
But what can the caretaker do, Mr. Uche, if the owner of the house says I want an increment? What can the caretaker do?
Yes.
They have lawyers in charge of houses.
Okay.
First of all, you report to the caretaker.
Okay.
Now, the caretaker will now channel your complaints to the landlord or the landlady.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the landlady will now take your complaint on a resolution to know how they will help out in terms of men. Because I have a friend. His house, he's having house issues, and the roof, every time rain falls, water drops inside the roof.
Okay.
So I told him, okay, first of all, talk to your caretaker before your landlady. So the person now followed what I told him. He spoke to the caretaker. The caretaker now spoke to the landlady, because the caretaker is the middleman. He can't just talk to the landlord or the landlady.
Okay.
So at that point in time, the landlady swung into action by reaching out to the tenant. What the landlady told the tenant is, okay, do the needful. When you are paying the rent, I will deduct the money you spent. I will deduct the money you spent in the maintenance of that apartment.
Okay.
I think that is the way. We need to have a discussion or discussions with the caretaker.
But Mr. Uche, a lot of this landlord, like the one I met on Saturday, is of a different opinion from what you're saying now. One, he does not have a caretaker, and two, he does not have a lawyer as well. So I think people just came in. Luckily, they saw him, they met him there, and they paid to him direct. And it's really frustrating. And not just him, but I know a lot of landlords as well that are into this. Okay, now what do you have to say about the ones that, like my colleague here is saying that she went looking for a house and they will tell you must pay 2 years, 3 years. So is this even obtainable here in Abuja? Knowing fully well that the economy is not friendly with anyone as it stands.
Yes. I myself, I have given out properties that the owner said you must pay 2 years before entering the house. But I went down to talk to the owner on ways of reducing the rent because the economy is biting hard.
On everybody.
Yes, that is the economy is biting seriously hard on everybody. So I went down to discuss with the owner, and we come to a resolution that the person will pay 1 year. We decided to reduce it. In short, I compelled the man to reduce it.
Okay.
He reduced the rentage. And another way of reducing rentages of houses is you will speak to the owner.
Okay.
Or in a sincere way, see what you have. Sir, see what you have. Can you help out?
How many of these landlords will be able to understand?
Excuse me, I
Okay.
want to come up with something.
Alright.
I rented a particular house that was 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
And this lady said she has 500,000, and the house supposed to be rented 600.
Okay.
And she was like begging me. She doesn't have any other money. The last money she has is 500,000. And they have pegged the house rent to be 600. So I now swung into action by reaching out to the landlord.
Okay.
I begged the landlord on behalf of the lady.
Okay.
So the landlord now said she wants to see the girl in question.
Okay.
So I said, okay, I can give the girl the landlord's number. The girl called the landlord. I was like pleading with the landlord. The way she pleaded, she was humble and understanding.
Okay.
The landlord now told her, okay, she would get back to her. Within 1 day, the landlord called the girl, okay, you can pay.
Wow.
What you have.
Oh, okay, sir. These are individual ways of resolving this issue. My question is: is there nobody governing landlords in general like that, where someone like me that I'm actually looking for a house can go to and say I actually want to get a house in so place, but the landlord is not giving a hand place I can go to so that they can help me out and reach out to my landlord like a body.
Because at the end of the day now, Mr. Uche, not everybody is like you or that said landlady or landlord. Now we have a lot of them in Abuja that they don't even want to know. Like the one I met on Saturday kept saying the economy is hard, but you forget also that we are in this together, not a one-person thing. Now, how do you think this whole thing can be resolved, apart from you being a good person or the landlord you work with being a good person, sir?
Yes.
Do we have a body that people can cry to?
Yes, we have some bodies that you can complain to.
Okay,
But,
which are?
There are some bodies like development and sustaining the political will of government for the provision of housing for Nigerians.
Okay.
We have also private sectors that are formal and informal participation in the provision of housing. There are also other institutions involved in the housing delivery at the federal level. So, but if you go to Federal Minister of Federal Minister of Housing and Transports, you can channel your complaints to a text officer there. Just channel by writing.
Okay.
They will reach out this complaint to the appropriate bodies. I believe that this housing auditing, people that normally regulated House of Assembly. But their laws, I don't know, is not effective.
We all know that their laws are not effective, and a lot of times, yes, apart from the one that is going to be favorable to them, they don't do well when it comes to the citizens, and we can all see that.
Okay, sir. Can you tell us factors that hamper houses development in Nigeria?
Okay, so factors like the develop and they sustain the political will of the government for the provision of housing for Nigerians, provide adequate incentives and an enabling environment for better private sector, such as formal and informal participation in the provision of housing. We have also strengthened all existing public institutions involved in the housing delivery at the federal level. Where the factors encourage and promote an active participation of other tiers of government in housing delivery. We have also make land for housing development easily accessible and affordable. Those are the factors that hamper housing deficit in Nigeria.
Now, what do you think is responsible for the housing deficit also in Nigeria?
As a result of legal problems, rigorous property registration and title documentation, cost of building materials, process of infrastructural inadequacy, poor credit information management for borrowers, among others. Including high interest rates. High interest rates. So sometimes you want to get loan from some organization, and the interest put in place can cause house deficit because you can't pay it back.
A big problem.
Rigorous property registration. They will tell you to bring this one, go to this office, sign this, sign that.
Okay, sir. Do you think the government is doing enough to bridge this housing deficit gap in Nigeria?
No, the government, they're not doing enough. They are not doing enough, to be frank. They are not doing enough. All the laws, regulated laws, they're not put in place and nobody to guide them. You discover that the landlord and landlady, they are just doing anything anyhow. Every time they increase house rent, they don't even consider the present economy. They're not doing enough. There are serious gaps in this house deficit.
So what do you think government should do, Mr. Uche?
Okay, government, like House of Assembly, they should make laws and follow it, enforce it. Put people in place that will guide,
monitor them as well.
Watch how people are increasing house rent. Go there and monitor it. And now house rent is supposed to be regulated for me 5 years.
That's fair enough.
Adding 20,000 or 50,000 naira. I need to look at the present economy before increasing house rent. I think that is that for now.
Okay, now, Mr. Uche, just before we let you go, now there is this, do you think, how can Nigeria access mortgages for houses just the way people do abroad? It's quite easy, even non-citizens, when they want to acquire a house there, the processes are not the same when even in your own land. How do we get there?
Yes, and for you to get mortgage in Nigerian banks or some organization, you need to bring collateral. You need to have something that you drop that will serve as collateral. So the collateral is held by the lender until full payment of the loan is done. It's very difficult in this current economy, and it's very difficult within us. But the documents have to be deposited as a collateral. Like, for example, if you have a Ghana, you want to get money from a bank, you need to drop your car. If your car is sellable, as a collateral for them to lend that money to you. So when you pay it finish, that is when your car will be given back to you.
But Mr. Uche, I'm aware also that most people that live abroad, they don't have collaterals. They only have a legal job they do, and because they will monitor you and to know that yes, you're working here and this is a legit office. And at the end of the day, you will be given the opportunity to have a house. Why is it not like that here in Nigeria?
That is the process of people living abroad. They monitor people, they give job. From that job, they'll be removing small tokens from there until you pay finish. That the process over there is seamless and easy. But over here, the economy that is biting makes things hard for us to access loan.
Okay.
Because you need to drop collateral before any loan is given to you, and they have to evaluate the thing you are dropping.
Okay.
But over there, the job you are doing, they will now deducting from that job you are doing until the payment is made, the payment is finished.
So you don't think that just because of the economy, there is no point in time we're going to get to that level?
Except government will come into play and regulate our laws. If they regulate our laws, like how countries like US, Canada, Australia, New Zealand does, if you are given a job, you'll be paying whatever you are paying through that job. If government of Nigeria can bring out laws that will be regulated in that way, it will help the citizens of Nigeria. But for now,
okay, very well, Mr. Uche. Just one more last question before you go. Is there any law that, because you talked about that, in your opinion, this increment thing should be done in 5 years intervals. Now, do you think that there is no law as regarding to when a landlord should increase the rent, especially a house that is newly built? Is there any law surrounding that particular issue we're having?
There are some laws, but the laws are between you and the landlord.
Not government now.
Yes,
okay.
The laws are between you and the landlord. Those are the laws, because the laws stipulated by National Assembly, that they're not watching it, they're not following it.
Okay.
And you as a tenant, you have a
Mr. Uche, hold that thought. We'll be right back. We'll go on a quick break.
RTV London, in partnership with NTA Enterprise, present the maiden edition of the Nigerian Week in the capital of the world, London. A wonderful blend of entertainment, business, and networking, displaying a wide range of arts, national cash crops, financial products and services, and real estate. For huge extra opportunity in diaspora, look no further. The 36 states of the Federation, the Federal Ministry of Information and Culture, Trade and Investment, the Nigerian Film Corporation, and host of others will be in attendance. Date 15th to 21st of May 2023. Venue Lighthouse, Camberwell, Southeast London. For details, log on www.superiorradiotelevision.com/Nigerian Week or call +447 549 513 619 or +234 814 358 2856. The Nigerian Week, celebrating the best of Nigeria from the rest.
Hello viewers, welcome back from that very quick break. Yes, I've been on the phone with the CEO of E-Rose Real Estate Management Limited, Comrade Okbara Uche Chukwu. Now we've been discussing issue bordering on anything that has to do
of house.
Yes, the way it's pressing on people. Just Mr. Uche, you were saying something. Quickly wrap up and then we'll let you go.
Okay. There are laws put in place, but government, they're not watching those laws, whether it's being enforced. In the other hand, landlord, they have agreement between the tenant and
The landlord.
house.
Okay.
And that agreement you sign when you paid the rent.
Okay.
And the day renew your rent, as well as if you did not pay your expiration date. Those are the agreements.
Yes, I know of all that agreement, but I was more concerned about a law surrounding the fact that a landlord just increase a house this year, and in the next 2 years or next year is coming for another increment. If there's any law that can stop this kind of action.
For now, there is no law for that.
Well, so sad. Very well then. Yes. I have been on the phone with Comrade Uche Chukwu-Okpara, the CEO of E-Rose Real Estate Management Limited. Well, thank you so much, sir, for being part of the show this morning. We do appreciate your time.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much for having me. Thank you.
Do have a nice day, sir.
You too. Bye.
Well, I think there should be a law.
It's really sad.
They want the citizens to come out.
It's really sad, and that is why when you look at within FCT, you go to Asokoro, there are so many empty houses, empty mansions. They are empty. You go to Metama, the same. Even within central area here, most of the duplexes you see there, nobody's there. Nobody's occupying these buildings. They have been there. I know a house in my area that has been there for the past 5 years, and then because they say somebody will come, the landlord will say you must pay 2 years, and the rent is so high. How do you expect people to live like this? So I think yes, and that is why a lot of people are moving out of the Federal Capital Territory. Some are going to Nasarawa. They come to work from Nasarawa on a daily basis. Some go to Niger State, Zuba, Mandela. Some go far Kuba, inside places they shouldn't live. And this is something I think we call on the government. And of course, if there's a body, like he said, a landlord, whatever they should review some of these things so that Nigerians will live happily and peacefully, because this economy we'll talk about is pressing on everyone, not just one person. We're all feeling it.
Yes,
it's really hard on everybody. Well, Pat, thank you so much for being part of the show today.
Thank you.
Nice doing this with you.
Citizens.
Thank you, viewers. And just before we go, don't forget a Nigerian Week London that is fast approaching. Take your bookie stand, buy your tickets, and be part of it. Apart from the food, the entertainment, there's going to be a lot of business opportunity. Be part of it. Don't be left out. And while you are out there, please drive carefully. Stay safe and stay alert. And always remember, peace is priceless. So let's give peace a chance. Do well to hit on our notification bell, share our content, and of course, like our page when you come across.
Stay safe out there. Like she said, stay safe out there. Stay out of trouble.
And drive carefully. Stay hydrated as well. We'll do this again tomorrow. Before then, I'm Princess Kessy.
And I am Patience Okosun.
Bye for now.
SR TV. Innovative content.